got up on Saturday, last Saturday, at Maryville's. I remember feeling extremely thirsty, and I remember telling Brandy my legs felt weak underneath me. After that, I have no memory of driving. They said I continued to feed. I drove home. I woke up Tuesday. I went to sleep Saturday night. I woke up Tuesday.
Good evening, Viral Crimes family. Welcome back to a Viral Crimes with Jocelyn. Tonight's story is not a crime story, you guys. We're switching gears here. It's a story about pain, purpose, compassion, dignity, and what one woman was able to accomplish when she decided that people and the world around her was worth more than she was. So her name was Shirley Raines, but millions knew her as Miss Shirley, you guys. This story is heartbreaking, but yet inspiring. She was the woman with the colorful hair, that beautiful makeup, the big personality, and that even bigger heart. She drove into communities that most people would never even step a foot in. But Miss Shirley was there. She brought food, clothing, hygiene products, hair color, makeup, conversation, laughter, respect, discipline, and she brought love. But Miss Shirley did not call the people she served homeless people. And this is the part I love about her. She called them queens and kings. She gave them a sense of dignity. She made them feel that they were something other than the way they were living. She gave them hope. So before we discuss how she passed, we must first understand how she lived. So for those who don't know who Miss Shirley was, let me again put her up on the screen because she was a force to be reckoned with. This is Miss Shirley. Miss Shirley had it going on. She was doing things that most people wouldn't even think to do, or not sacrifice themselves, their time, their energy to get out there and do what God put her on this earth to do. This was her purpose. This was her purpose, you guys. So before the awards, before the millions of followers, before CNN, TikTok, Lizzo, and national recognition, there was a grieving mother trying to survive the loss of her child. So tonight we're going to tell the complete story, and we're gonna do it slow. We're not gonna rush through this. It's Friday. Hopefully everybody's home from work, and we can sit here and appreciate this beautiful, beautiful human being. So let's talk about her family, the tragedy that nearly destroyed her, the moment she found her purpose, the creation of beauty, the celebrities who supported her final acts of service, and the confirmed facts surrounding her passing. So please keep the comments respectful, you guys. I know you guys always do. I don't need to keep saying this, but just to be on the safe side, because sometimes you have people come in and say some crazy stuff. But I know the Viral Crimes family in my community is always respectful. So before we get any further, okay, so like I said, just remember that this is a very sensitive topic, and we're gonna get through this, and we're gonna take our time. And we might be on here a while, but it's okay. I don't have nowhere to go, and hopefully you guys don't either. So let's just get into this together. So this is an opportunity to spread. We're going to stop the conspiracy theories. Her official cause of death. It was noted in the autopsy that she passed for hypertension. But tonight is about the facts, her life, and the legacy she left behind. As you come into the room, you guys, please like the live, share it, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, when did you first hear about Miss Shirley? You know, I first heard about her a few months ago, actually before her passing. I was happened to be scrolling up on TikTok, came across this beautiful lady with this beautiful, vibrant blue hair. She was on Skid Row, and she was handing out hygiene products through her window. And when she handed the guy the bag, and the guy said, "Can I get one for my sister? She's also here." So Miss Shirley's like, "Of course, King, you know." So I was like, wow, the respect level, you know? So he was like, "I'm so happy that you're here." So she was a mother, you guys, of 6. She was a founder of Beauty to the Streetz and an advocate followed by more than 5 million people on TikTok. Miss Shirley was a force. She really, really was. So let's fact check the timeline that I have. I did a lot of research today, try to put this together and make sure that I cover some things that were missing in the news. And if you heard it before, but if you haven't, it's new to you. So on December 29th, 1967, Shirley was born. She was born Shirley Diane Raines. So let me put her picture up again for those that are coming in and they can see who we are talking about. I just want to get her picture. There she is. There's Miss Shirley. I'm not talking Miss Shirley with the little girl with the boots on the ground. We're not talking about her. So she was born December 29th, 1967 in Compton, California. She entered the world alongside her twin sister, and they both were raised in Compton. That would help shape her direct, humorous, protective, and street personality. In 1990, the loss that changed everything. Shirley was the mother of 6 children. And in 1990, her young son, Demetrius, passed shortly before his 3rd birthday after an accidental poisoning while in the care of Shirley's grandmother. Shirley later openly stated the devastation, the guilt, the anger, the depression, and emotional numbness that followed. She eventually reconciled with and forgave her mother. Can you guys imagine how hard that is? You leave your child in the hands of the person you trust the most on this earth, and your child doesn't make it home. I would never second guess whether or not I can trust my mother with my children, but guess what? Although we're mothers and we're grandmothers, we're not perfect and accidents do happen. So that was not the end of the loss of Shirley's life. She also described losing her father following medical complications and later caring for and burying Demetrius' father as well. So she not only lost her dad, she lost her son, she lost her son's father. So Miss Shirley was carrying a lot on her shoulders. And in that whole time, she also developed cancer. So Shirley said decades of grief eventually contributed to a serious emotional breakdown. So in the mid to 2010s, she discovered a new purpose. This where Miss Shirley became alive and she found her purpose in life and she began to flourish. Can you imagine when God really shows you your purpose and you no longer have to question, why am I here? You know why you're here. Listen, that had to be something amazing for her. So sources differ slightly on whether Shirley's first Skid Row outreach occurred in 2015 or 16. That is minor. Whether it's the 15 or 16, guess what? It happened. What is consistent is that she joined a church community group distributing food in downtown Los Angeles. So that's where it all began. She found a church. They were doing outreach, and that's where she found her passion. So you know what? We're going to get back into this video. We're going to go in and out because I believe that Miss Shirley deserves all the attention, all her flowers still today. And we just got to keep putting her out there. And hopefully that some other people will come in and say, listen, I want to do the same thing and follow her blueprint. So let's keep going with this video. Well, I'm going to put myself in the corner here.
In my house, scared, bruising all on my arms as if somebody had grabbed me. My memory is completely erased. I still can't remember. I went to the doctor. It was too late to draw my blood to see if anything was in there. I'm still not 100% back to normal. My daughter's been taking care of me. It's been extremely scary. They ran all kind of blood tests on me. Nothing comes up. They think I need to do a better job watching my surroundings. Somebody might have slipped me something.
Now, the sad part about this is always when you're on your rise where someone comes in and want to take you off the plan that God has you on. But listen, this happened. She was out doing outreach, and we're gonna get into the particulars of that actual moment. So let's just go back. We're still trying to remember who Miss Shirley were. We're trying to still give her name life. So when she was doing outreach at the church, she realized that this was her passion. So while serving meals, Shirley noticed something very important. Several women were just as interested in her hair color. That's what caught me. When I saw her on TikTok, I was like, okay, Miss Shirley here. Who is this lady? She had this blue, and I love cobalt blue. That's my favorite color. As you can see the background, I love blue. Okay. So I saw that. That is what sparked me to see who is this lady and what is she about. So she noticed that a lot of women were asking her about her hair color and her makeup and her personal style because she was she was fly, y'all. Miss Shirley she was bad. So she realized that a person could need a meal and still want to feel attractive. They want to be clean, noticed, and they want to feel like a human, regardless if you live in a home or you live in a shelter. At the end of the day, we all bleed the same red blood that God placed in every last one of us. So Shirley returned with beauty products, hair supplies, hygiene items, food, clothing, and the women, they were going insane. Her children were also involved in some of the early outreach. So she set the seed, she placed that seed in her children as well, which is beautiful. So Beauty to the Streets developed in a regular outreach program. Shirley cooked. She distributed hundreds of meals. She offered hair, makeup services. She gave out toiletries and built genuine relationships with the people living on Skid Row. You know how many people are scared to go down there and, oh, what's going to happen to me? I don't want this. Miss Shirley didn't care. Miss Shirley went in there like a force to be reckoned with. The organization became a registered nonprofit in 2019. Shirley used social media to document her work. She raised money. She challenged stereotypes and showed people experiencing homelessness as individuals. She made them have a name. They were not homeless people. They had names. They had personalities. They had birthdays, preferences, and dreams. And Miss Shirley made it a point to listen to them all. So this is where it got a little sketchy for Miss Shirley in 2020. Of course, we all know what happened then, the pandemic. So, of course, that changed the whole way that the mission process could happen. So when the vid came about, Beauty to the Streets temporarily shift much of its focus from beauty services to urgent survival needs. It did not stop her from going into those communities and doing what she could do with the resources that she had. So Shirley and other volunteers, they distributed masks, sanitizer, food, tents, sleeping bags. She just shifted. She pivoted and she changed her tactics, but she still knew that there was a need in that community and she still went in there and did what she could do. So she sent out health information. She gave them vid tests and, she distributed those type of things, gloves and all she did what she was supposed to do. She also partnered with health organizations to help bring testing, vaccinations, and educations into communities where access was limited. So still, it didn't stop her. Some people didn't even go to work. It stopped them from just getting out their bed and getting out their jammies. So September 2021, Jessica Alba and Rachel Ray recognized Miss Shirley. The Rachel Ray show features Shirley's work. Jessica Alba and the Honest Company helped provide approximately 10,000 products, including makeup, hand sanitizer. They also had the LA Financial Credit Union. They also contributed 10,000. Let me tell you something. Whatever it was that God gave Miss Shirley, she used it. She did not stop. When you can get a financial institution to donate $10,000 to your cause, it's bigger than you are. It's bigger than you are. So Miss Shirley was able to make that happen. So now it is December 12th, 2021. She was named CNN Hero of the Year. Let's show Miss Shirley again. Look at her. She's doing her work. I just love seeing these pictures. She's outside, you guys, washing hair. She's protesting. She's speaking. This is just it's actually very emotional because this is what is needed. And it's so unfortunate that this woman was taken out at the time in her life where she was at the peak of helping as many people as possible. So as I stated on December 12th, 2021, Miss Shirley received the CNN Hero of the Year. Shirley won public votes, and she was named the CNN Hero. She received an additional $100,000 grant for Beauty to the Streets. $100,000. Like, this is so disheartening that somebody. See, listen, this is all allegedly speculations. I've watched all these videos and I'm hearing a whole bunch of things, but listen, sometimes I can be a little bit of a conspiracy theorist. And I believe that someone did this to Miss Shirley, allegedly. This is not in the news. This is not, but I'm just saying, as the timeline, as we break it down, something is not right with Miss Shirley's story. Irregardless to what everybody accepted, doesn't make it right. So on December 2022, Lizzo places Shirley on a national stage. When Lizzo received the People's Champion Award at the 2022 People's Choice Awards, she brought 17 activists on stage and shared the spotlight with them all. And Miss Shirley was among the activists. So Miss Shirley was out there. She was really, really out there. So let's listen to a little more of her story. She's explaining the night that this happened to her. She's explaining what she went through physically. She explained she went to the hospital. So we're going to just hear her because we want to hear Miss Shirley's voice, you guys. We really, really do. So let's get into this.
But that's where I've been all week. You haven't seen me feed, no donuts, no hot dogs, no pizza, no nothing. I'm still trying to get my memory back. I don't remember.
What you just heard was a woman describing the week she lost. Not metaphorically, literally. She disappeared on a Saturday and came back on a Tuesday with no recollection of 72 hours. No memory, just bruises on her arms, terror in her eyes, and questions that would never be answered. This is Shirley Raines, a woman known across the internet as Ms. Shirley, the makeup lady of Skid Row, a woman who fed thousands, a woman who made homeless people feel beautiful when the world told them they were worthless, a woman who was named CNN's Hero of the Year, and then something happened to her, something so traumatic that it would change her forever. Medical tests showed something toxic was in her system. But was it poisoning? Was it drugging? Or was it something else entirely? And weeks after this missing week, after she was finally starting to recover, she died. Just gone.
Okay, so the reason why I'm going this route with it, and I'm taking us more of the end prior to the beginning, okay? Because right before this happened, as we just stated, she received that $100,000 grant. She received her CNN award. Now she's at the peak of whatever this is. She's reaching clouds that most people don't reach. So let's get into the mission that expands. This is all prior to this happening to her. Okay, you guys. So let's slow it down a little bit. Let's slow it down just a little bit. I'm gonna add myself over here into this corner right here really quickly. So hold on, y'all. Okay, let me bring myself down here in this corner because at the end of the day, even though I'm doing this, it's all about Miss Shirley. So 2023 to 2025, Shirley outreach did expand beyond Skid Row into communities including San Diego, Las Vegas, San Francisco, and Dallas. In 2025, as stated, she won that NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Social Media Personality. Maybe one day I'll get there, you guys. Y'all just keep sharing, and subscribing to my channel and become a part of the Viral Crimes family. I promise you guys, you will not regret it. And one day, maybe I'll receive the award as well. Listen, if God can do it for Miss Shirley, he can do it for Jocelyn. Miss Shirley was selected for the Time 100 creator list. Time reported she had approximately 6.6 million combined followers on TikTok and Instagram. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? And this is a woman who life had fell all apart. She lost her child, her father, her child's father. She lost her child while he was with her mother. This woman, she never imagined that God would do this for her, but God already knew. He knew. So January 2026, she continued serving until her end. So just before her passing, Shirley was still posting outreach footages. The Associated Press was reported that on Monday, January 26th, she posted a video from inside a vehicle while handing lunches to people waiting outside. And that's the one that I saw. And it was amazing. In another video, she gave out shoes to children that were barefoot on Skid Row. You never think that there's also children there. There's families there. So you're not just giving to adults. There are literally children, babies with no Pampers on Skid Row. So this is the confirmed timeline of Shirley Raines passing. Okay. So now let's go back a little bit, because we want to keep these dates in mind. And 2025 is when she received her award. This is where she got the Time Magazine's 100 creator made it to the list, the NAACP award, 2025. What month was that? Let me see if I can find the month. Hold on. That was, okay, there's no month here. It just says in 2025. So now we are in January 2026. She continues to serve. She now makes it to the Associated Press. That was on Monday, January the 26th. She continued to post videos. The 26th. Now we're still in January, you guys. So January the 26th, Shirley's social media account posted footage of her distributing lunches. The post showed that she was still engaged in outreach shortly before her passing. I mean, literally shortly before her passing. She was fine. She was vibrant. There was no signs of Miss Shirley being sick, no signs of her having any health issues. They did speak to her sister. She had a twin sister who said that she was in great health. She was taking medication for depression, but other than that, that was about it. Okay. So January the 27th, now we're on the 26th. Now we're on the 27th. Shirley's youngest daughter became concerned when she could not reach her mother. A welfare check was requested at Shirley's home in Nevada, and police entered the residence and found Miss Shirley unresponsive. Let's go back to her video. We're going to keep watching this.
And to this day, nobody knows why. Some people are saying she was killed. Some are saying it was natural causes. Some are saying she took her own life. But what we do know is that the woman who saved thousands of lives on the streets couldn't save herself. This is her story, and this mystery is about to change everything you thought you knew. Welcome to True Homicide Crime. I'm your host, and if you're new here, subscribe and...
You guys, please go like, share, and subscribe to True Homicide. Make sure we support anybody that's getting out this type of content that has to do with awareness. Let's go and subscribe and support their channel as well. Thank you, guys.
Turn on notifications because we're about to cover a case that has divided people across the internet. Some say what happened to Shirley Raines was a crime, a poisoning, a drugging, a deliberate attack. Others say it was natural causes, untreated health issues, a tragedy of medical negligence. Some believe she took her own life. Others believe her body simply gave out. The truth is nobody knows for certain. But what we do know is that a woman who spent over a decade helping thousands of homeless people, a woman who was named CNN's Hero of the Year, a woman who had 5 million followers and changed how the world viewed homelessness. That woman disappeared for an entire week. She woke up terrified with no memory of what happened, and just weeks later, she was gone. Today, we're here to shed light on what really happened to Shirley Raines and why her death remains one of the most mysterious cases in recent years. Shirley Raines was born in Compton, California in 1967. Her childhood was chaos. Her family was deep in drug addiction. She was living in poverty, moving from hotel to hotel, essentially homeless herself. When she had her son, she was so desperate to give him a better life that she made the hardest decision a mother can make. She sent him to live with her grandmother. She thought he would be safer there. She thought her grandmother could provide what she couldn't. But her grandmother was careless with medication. Prescription pills were left lying around the house. When Shirley went to pick up her son, she immediately knew something was wrong. He wasn't acting right. She rushed him to the hospital. On September 6th, the last birthday she would ever celebrate with her son, he died. He was only 2 years old. The woman who had given Shirley so much in life was also the reason for her greatest loss.
Shirley, tell us a little bit about why you do this.
For me, it comes from my trauma and my pain. I buried my son many years ago. When I buried my son, I was essentially homeless, staying in a hotel, my husband and myself. And I remember the night he was so restless, and I felt so bad for fussing at him. I sent him to my grandmother's house, his great-grandmother, and she left some medication lying around. That, of course, affected my whole mental, the guilt of not having stability. I went into massive panic attack and disorder.
You guys, that's not her fault. Accidents happen all the time. We want to think that our parents, as parents, grandparents, they're perfect. You know, luckily, after many years, Shirley was able to forgive her mother. Wasn't her fault. Everybody was doing the best job that they could do, and it was not malice behind her son getting. Was it a little reckless? You know what? Was it an accident? Yes. So luckily, Shirley was able to repair her relationship with her mother, and they were able to move on. And I think at that point, that's when God decided to reach into Shirley's heart and allow Shirley to get her purpose. And that's when Shirley was able to do what she was doing. So sometimes we have to forgive in order to receive. You know what? Listen, if y'all don't believe in God and what he does, I feel sorry for you. I'm sorry. I do.
I was working and I was just living life, but I wasn't a happy person. I was very traumatized, you know what I mean? And I wanted a purpose for my pain. I knew I couldn't get rid of the pain, but I knew if I could find a purpose for it, if it make sense. You know, I took my spiritual journeys. I did whatever I could.
At 20 years old, Shirley fell apart. She became self-sabotaging.
20?
She couldn't keep anything together.
20? Come on now. She was 20 years old. Where's grace and mercy for Miss Shirley? 20 years old? I couldn't imagine. I had my first child at 25. I could not imagine having a child at 20, having to provide, put a roof over their head, make sure they have food, get them to school every day. Come on now. Miss Shirley, you did what you could do. Period.
The world looked at her the way it looks at homeless people, with judgment, with indifference, assuming her problems were her own fault. For 36 years, she carried that grief. But in 2017, everything changed.
Wow.
Someone at church asked if she wanted to help feed the homeless.
Wait a second. How many years did she carry that grief? Let me go back. I need to hear that again. She carried that grief. She carried that unforgiveness in her heart for those many years. Let's see.
She couldn't keep anything together. The world looked at her the way it looks at homeless people, with judgment, with indifference, assuming her problems were her own fault. For 36 years, she carried that grief.
36 years. Miss Shirley stayed in that rut because she could not forgive herself. She could not forgive her mother. And the moment that she did, God opened up the gates and everything positive flooded into Miss Shirley. Listen, you guys, if you're out there and you don't have forgiveness in your heart, or you got somebody out there that you don't, just because you forgive somebody does not mean that you have to be kumbaya with them. But forgive them, let it go, and allow God to now replace that with something positive. Because now you don't freed up space in your heart. You freed up that anger in your heart to receive something positive. So let it go. Let it go. Wow. 36 years she walked around with this trauma. And then now let's listen to see what happened to Miss Shirley.
But in 2017, everything changed. Someone at church asked if she wanted to help feed the homeless. She said yes. When she got to Skid Row, she found her people, broken people just like her. She started bringing food, then makeup, then wigs, then herself. People started calling her the makeup lady. She understood something most people don't. Not all queens live in castles.
That's right.
By 2021, CNN named her Hero of the Year.
I
She
love
had
it.
5 million followers on TikTok. Time magazine listed her as one of the most influential people. She was changing the world. And then November 2025 happened. Shirley experienced something traumatic, something she couldn't explain, something that would change everything. She described—
Okay, she's not going to get into what I've been hearing in the streets or the social media streets. So this is what I've been hearing. I guess Miss Shirley, this is allegedly, you guys. Now, I've done a lot of homework. And like I said, I have a little bit of conspiracy theorists in me. But they said that Miss Shirley was at an event and they were testing all different type of foods or whatever. So she goes to this particular food truck. The food truck said, listen, I have someone else who's making cookies and all these type of desserts. I want you to try something. But yet that person did not have they weren't a vendor at this event. And they gave Miss Shirley a cookie. And when Miss Shirley ate that cookie, allegedly, 20 minutes later, Miss Shirley passed out. Rushed to the emergency room. They did a toxicology. She had all types of stuff in her system. She was never known to take illicit drugs or anything of that nature. So this is all allegedly. This is what the social media streets are saying. Sometimes I tend to believe them more than I do the big companies. You know what I'm saying? Because we get the real from them. But take it with a grain of salt. But this is a woman that had no health issues, you guys. Okay, let's keep watching this.
Did in a video she recorded shortly after. Listen to the medical details. Listen to the fear.
CAT scan, metabolic panel, EKG,
Heart.
all the testing and questions. They can only deduce that somehow I was drugged. What was it? We'll never know. The body absorbs it quickly, they said. By the time I woke up, it was no longer detectable. They said even if I saved my vomit, like I said, I shouldn't have been detected in that. It has to come from your blood.
Hold on.
My memory will come back over time. I went yesterday because I couldn't figure out where Costco was. I forgot how to pay a company bill. And I'm concerned about my memory. I still have my daughter driving me around, but they told me just to relax and it will come back. Every day, I don't know if you can tell by the videos I'm doing, but I feel like I'm getting better. Like every day, I feel like I'm more and more myself. I'm coming into this. For me, it's just the unanswered questions. Who, what, when, where, why. But I praise God for his protection. I'm grateful that I was able to vomit and
Okay, so you know me. If y'all watch this channel, I like to keep my iPads. I'm here doing a whole bunch of things. Okay, so I wanted to figure out what drugs can go undetectable within that short period of time where Miss Shirley was at this event. She passes out. EMTs come. She goes to the emergency room. They run toxicology. They find nothing. Okay. So it says most illicit drugs remain detectable much longer than 30 minutes. Let's see what it says. Okay. There are a few that do not. It says a person may feel the effect of this particular drug for a short time, but still stays residual within your system. Okay, hold on. Let's see. What is the name of this particular drug? Let's go down this rabbit hole here. Because something happened to Miss Shirley. Because Miss Shirley was not out dancing with her boots on the ground on Monday and then gone on Tuesday. GHB. Sometimes used in drink spiking, it can become difficult to detect after hours, especially in blood, and is often undetectable in urine. They also have benzodiazepines, such as midazolam, can have short effects, but are generally detected after 20 minutes, which can be life-threatening. If you're not administered Narcan, you get this drug in you, ketamine. These are then some other synthetic drugs that are made inside of makeshift labs. So, I don't know. Like I said, this is all allegedly. Let's keep going, you guys.
get that all out of there. After waking up for 3 days, my sliding door for my garage was wide open, which means day and night for 3 days it had been open. Anybody could come in the house, come and gone. And they want me to do an R kit today just based upon those factors. I don't think anything happened down there. I did self-check, but I'm going to finish this out and do the rape kit. I'm going to pray on it. I'm going to release and let go and and just thank God that He kept me and I'm just gonna move past cigars.
This is the moment everything fell apart for Shirley. Doctors ran comprehensive medical testing, CAT scans, metabolic panels, EKGs, and they concluded something. Something toxic was in her system. Something that her body purged through vomiting. Something that was no longer detected.
You guys do not trust nobody. I know there's many people that they may pull up. Like we have this one guy that he sits inside of the Kroger's parking lot in here in Gwinnett County. And he has this little truck where he offers free testing of his products. Don't do it. I don't give a darn who's cooking what and say, hey, I have this restaurant. I'm giving out these free samples. If you love yourself, guess what? Don't be upset if you hurt his feelings. At least you live to see another darn day. No, I'm not eating your food. I'd be like, no, pump your brakes. No, we're not eating this crap. I'm not trusting nobody. This world is ugly. And if you trust anybody, you know what? I'm just going to say that the elevator is not going to the top floor. And not saying that was what happened to Miss Shirley, but I think Miss Shirley was in an environment where she felt so comfortable in who she was and what she was doing for these people that in her mind, she may have thought, no one is going to hurt me because I mean so much to this community and this community needs me. But let me tell you something. The devil, he comes to do three things: kill, steal, and destroy. So here you have this woman living this beautiful life. She's doing great things. And sometimes the devil will peek into your future and see something mighty and send a raft of evilness in to destroy you. This is just my theory. And I'm just saying, I believe that this is what happened to Miss Shirley. She was doing too much good in a world that is so ugly.
Detectable by the time she woke up. Her memory was fragmented. Her cognitive function was impaired. Her sense of safety was shattered. And this is where the narrative gets complicated, because not everyone agrees on what this all means. Some people are saying Shirley wasn't actually drugged. They're saying she had underlying health issues that were never treated. They're saying the doctors were wrong. They're saying it was medical negligence from the hospital, not foul play from an attacker. Here's what they said publicly.
Hey TikTok, this is Designer Season. This is my last time addressing the Miss Shirley situation, but I'm about to give y'all a little thorough, detailed explanation of what this lady came and told me, okay? Number one, when she thought she was drugged, she was never drugged. She had underlying health issues that had not been treated that aided to her passing out and all of that stuff with the situation where everybody keeps running around talking about she was drugged. Next, when she passed away, she was literally about to get in the bed. Nobody did anything to her. Nobody harmed her in any kind of way. All these fucking conspiracy theories is bullshit. This lady, when she came, she said her biggest regret was not putting her health first, not taking care of herself.
But let's not ignore what her sister said. Now, she did have a twin sister who was interviewed and said that her sister had no health issues. She wasn't taking no medications. She had been to the doctors. So now we have to say, okay, the doctors that gave her a clear medical release didn't know what they were talking about. And it's something that the doctors missed. But yes, she was not on no medications. Listen, it's only facts. I won't say facts, allegedly, because we're building the case on what we know that's in the public today. Do we know that it is the correct information? No. But we can't speculate that Miss Shirley had these health issues when the doctor said she was clear. Her sister said she had no health issues, but some anxiety and some depression. And I never knew that to take you out unless you self-harmed yourself. So this guy in the pink dress, listen, do better research.
As well as she should have. It was never, she made it clear. Nobody did nothing to her.
Who made it clear?
Nobody.
Listen.
She thought when she was in the physical that somebody had done something like poison her or drugged her or some sort, like in November or something. But when she's in spirit, she's saying nobody did anything to her. It
In
was her
spirit?
health.
What is shit? You know what? When it's stuff like that come on the viral crimes with Jocelyn channel, I just go right past them because I can do this. Because guess what? It's my channel. I don't listen to this foolishness. Boy, go somewhere. Go ahead.
Both narratives can't be completely true.
Right.
But here's what's interesting. The second narrative actually suggests medical negligence. If Shirley did have untreated health conditions, if the hospital failed to catch them, that's still a tragedy. That's still a failure of the system. So whether it was poisoning or medical negligence, something went very wrong. And Shirley paid the price for it. The internet was divided on this. Some people online were convinced Shirley had been poisoned deliberately. They pointed to the medical tests as proof. They said the vomiting, the memory loss, the bruises on her arms, all of it pointed to a crime. Other people were skeptical. They said Shirley had a history of trauma. She was on medication for panic disorder. Maybe her mind was making connections.
See, now that's what that's what the street said. Her sister, they interviewed her and said yes, she was on that type of medication. But she wasn't on heart medication. She wasn't a diabetic. She didn't have high blood pressure. She didn't have CHF. She didn't have COPD. She didn't have all those conditions. Now, I will tell you this. If she had those type of chronic conditions, it would be really hard for a physician to not see it. She done had EKG, MRI, CT scan. She went to the ED. She says she had all these done in the emergency room when they were testing her for the toxicology report, and everything came back negative. Except for her toxicology report, they did see something in it. But her EKG was fine. The MRI was fine. Her CAT scan was fine. Come on now. Let's listen to the facts. And the facts are coming out of her own mouth. This is what she said. And we just heard it. So she didn't have heart problems. She wasn't on medication for any underlying conditions or chronic conditions. She didn't have any of those things that was stated. Sister said she was fine. She had some mental issues, what we would expect, considering what she went through. That would be normal. I will tell you this. 99.99% of this world needs medication. But we do not go to the doctors and figure out why we think the way we think, why we don't understand the things we need to understand. And 9 times out of 10 is because there's some mental issues going on. But we don't seek help. But she had no conditions that were long-lasting, chronic, that would had cause long-standing issues that would then lead to her passing, okay?
That weren't there. Some media outlets covered the story as a potential crime. Others treated it as a health issue. Nobody knew the truth. And frankly, we still don't. But then, weeks after the November incident, Shirley recorded a video. And this video would become one of the most discussed pieces of content about her. Listen to what she said.
Guys, I can finally go and be with my son. I know that by the time you see this video, I will already be gone. But please don't be sad for me. For more than a decade, I helped countless homeless people. What you saw was me giving them...
I will tell you this. I don't believe that this is true. I believe this is AI. And I'm going to tell you why. Miss Shirley had too much life in her. I don't believe this. I researched this. There was nothing to say, like her family came out and said this was her. I don't believe it. So because I don't believe it, I'm not going to put it on this channel.
Did Shirley intentionally take her own life? Or was she simply reflecting on a beautiful life dedicated to helping others? Here's my speculation on this. I think the video is ambiguous. It could be interpreted as goodbye. It could also be interpreted as a woman at peace with her journey, acknowledging mortality, reflecting on a life well lived. Without more context, without knowing her state of mind when she recorded it, we can't say for sure.
And we don't know if she recorded it.
The words are haunting. And the fact that she died just weeks later makes every sentence echo with a different meaning than it probably had when she recorded it. On January 23rd, 2026, Shirley's son was the last family member to speak with her. It was early afternoon. She was alive. She was home. For days passed. Nobody heard from her. On January 27th, Shirley's daughter Rashawn Williams became worried. She had been trying to reach her mother all day. The phone kept ringing inside the house, but nobody was picking up. At 4:43 in the afternoon, Rashawn called the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. She requested a welfare check. She told them her mother wasn't answering, but she could hear the phone ringing inside. Officers arrived at Shirley's home in Henderson, Nevada. They found her unresponsive on the floor next to her bed upstairs. She was alone. On the bed was a finished plate of food. Near her pillow was a single white pill. According to the police report, there were no visible signs of trauma on her body. No forced entry. No signs of a struggle. Shirley Raines, age 58, was pronounced dead at the scene. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department found no evidence of a crime. They found no signs of foul play. But that doesn't necessarily mean nothing happened. It just means they couldn't prove anything happened. The authorities said the investigation was ongoing. They said they were waiting for autopsy results, toxicology reports, final medical findings. And Shirley's family, her sister Sheila, her daughters, they said they didn't suspect foul play. They said Shirley had been in good health. They said they believed she died of natural causes. But the family also asked for privacy. They didn't want the body disputed. They didn't want endless speculation. They wanted to grieve. And then there's the final piece. The most human piece. The one that tells us what really mattered in those last moments.
Her stuff, but it's all out of love. I love my mama so much. She knows that, right? I wanted to feel like she was hugging me, so I put on her robe. And I came and sat in her bed. My mommy was in here by herself, y'all.
Now I will tell you this. As someone who lost a mom in a horrific way, I understand this young lady's pain. My mom passed. I had spoke to my mother several times the day of her passing. She was on her way to the grocery store. Now, my mother did have health issues, but she was on the right track of getting better. So there was a lot of hope, you know. So she was headed to the grocery store. She was on her way to a football game with my nephews, and my dad and her stopped at the gas station, and I talked to her when she got out the car to go into the gas station. I told her, send me some pictures when you get to the football game. And she said, okay, I'm going into the store to get the boys some snacks. Less than 30 minutes later, I get a call. My dad's screaming and hollering, and I can hear, now mind you, I'm in the grocery store. I'm shopping at Walmart. I don't remember leaving Walmart, and I don't remember driving home. I cannot explain it any other way. I lost every thought process. I don't remember getting into the car. All I remember is my daughter's knocking on the window and I'm sitting in the driveway. I don't remember anything else. And I heard him say, your mother is gone. Now it didn't hit me at that moment because I just spoke to her. I'm like, okay, Dad, what do you mean she's gone? She should just go to the bathroom or whatever. So I can understand her pain. And my mom passing at a gas station on the ground in front of a bunch of strangers was something that messed with my mind. It's still to this day, when I think about it, I don't like to think about it, but it took me years to get past that. Like, why there? But then after years went on and I got to talk to my dad said, I believe God had me take her out this house because she had passed in this house, and if I had to come downstairs and find your mom in this house, where would I be? Because I couldn't live here no more. So God works in mysterious ways. So when he told me that, I said, thank God that she did, so I can understand Miss Shirley's daughter and the pain that she's going through, just speaking to your mom and seeing your mom and not having that moment to say, oh, my mom is sick, and gradually deal with it and knowing that it's coming. But to have a mom that's healthy or have a mom that's getting better, yeah, I can understand it. So
something on my spirit at 1:30 in the morning. Let me tell you guys really quickly, okay? Let me tell you guys what happened. I was broke. Y'all know I be needing money for my mama and shit. I was broke, so I needed some change for my mama. So, anyways, I asked her for $40 so that I could get some bud. But this is the thing. Something came to my spirit and told me I have a flight that was on the 9th of next month. And my return flight to go back home with the baby was the 13th. Something on my spirit came to me at 1:30 in the morning while the baby had an ear infection that was outrageous and had a fever, and I had no gas. Something came to me and told me to drive to my mama's house and surprise her. So I start my drive. I got the baby with his fever and earache self. Because my mama said, you always follow spirit. You do what spirit tells you to do. And I was like, damn, I don't know if that's spirit or if I smoke too much weed. I want to see my mama right now. I believed it was spirit.
That's funny.
So I got up and I moved at 1:30 in the morning from Beverly Hills, drove out here to Las Vegas. I got here at 5:38 in the morning. And when I got here, y'all, I was knocking on walls and shit. Knocking on the door. I'm a real gangster, you know. So I hopped the fence with Brilliant, the baby. Hopped the fence with Brilliant. I was throwing little rock pebbles at her window. I was like, she better wake her ass up. She in there sleeping like a bear. Then I turned on the water hose so I could hit the window with the water pressure to wake her up. But the water hose was bent, so the water wasn't coming all the way out, so that plan had to go out. I'm just looking at all these desperate measures I took to wake my mama up, not knowing she was in here. In the condition she was in here in. Can y'all believe this? I feel like in my drive to come surprise my mama, I feel like in my drive I spun out and had an accident or something, and I'm dead, and this is my death side. I just don't know. I'm so confused, y'all. My man has not been acting right to my mama, you guys.
You know, it's funny because my mom died. She was 59 years old. So, you know, to lose your mom at that age, and I'm approaching that age right now. It's very emotional when I think about it, you know. So for those who've had the for those who had the time to spend with their parents until they reach the age of 80, 70 years old, be blessed, because to lose your mom at such a young age in your life where you need her the most is extremely hard. You know, it's really, really hard. So I tell you, we cry on this channel. We really, really do. So we're going to get back into Miss Shaw. I just feel for this young lady, and I know her pain. And I was really close with my mother too. We were best friends, so I understand her pain. So let's keep going, you guys.
I want to share so many things with y'all, but I just have to wait. I'm just on my mama's live to let y'all know that Danielle created that fake GoFundMe. Thank y'all. So when they report it, they'll take the money from her, right? Danielle's broke, bro. She didn't buy all that motherfucking ice cream and shit. I video called that bitch one time. That bitch was sitting there eating a big thing of ice cream. I don't even know the size. Straight out the thing. I'm like, ew. Like one of them things where you be watching people eat. Like, you know, that's a thing where people just sit there and watch people eat and shit. I don't want to see that shit. Put all that ice cream up. Aren't you lactose like the rest of us black folks? Fuck. I'm gonna keep my mama's legacy going, you guys. Drewski, I love you. I love you, Drewski. Drew, are you coming out here? Please come. I'm in my mommy's bed right now, Drew. It just comes and goes. My mama knew that they was gonna come. Oh, I just smell her, y'all. I be smelling her like this. It's just, I be having these things that just come, you guys. It comes and it goes. It comes and it goes. But to be with y'all and to hear y'all say all these things about my mama is so awesome. Brilliant. The baby keeps running in here asking for M&Ms and shit, y'all.
You know what? My mom was the type of woman, she She was an activist as well. You know, she was the vice president of the CSCA in New York. She was very close to the comptroller. My mom would picket and fight for our rights in New York State. And her funeral, there were so many people, the service, the church couldn't even hold them. Everybody wanted to speak on her behalf. So I understand this woman when your parents make you proud to be their child. I was very proud of my mother. My mother did a lot. So I understand her pain. And the people that were so proud of it was nothing. My mother, she did everything for everybody. Like everybody wanted her around. She traveled to these events for CSCA and she fought for rights for employment and she wanted to make sure everybody was treated equally. Yeah, so I understand when she says she's proud. You know, when my mom passed and I'm in that front row and I turn around and standing room only. And I'm like, wow, look at the people that my mother touched, the mayor. They're all here to honor my mother. It's a beautiful thing. You know, you just pray that one day you could step into her shoes and do something, may not be the same thing that she's doing, but hope that you'll be able to impact someone. So let's keep going on with her and her mom.
What do I do? What I tell him? They gave me a booklet. The people that came when my mama passed gave me a booklet, and it's like it has little links for videos for dealing with death and for children so they can understand it. Like this one that's called When Dinosaurs Die and other little stupid shit like that. But we gotta continue her legacy. I gotta drink water today. My mouth hurts, my body hurts, everything hurts. And then they be like, God will never put more on you than you can handle. Well, he knew I couldn't handle this shit.
I promise you guys, that is not in the Bible. If somebody can find that scripture in the Bible where it says God will not give you more than you can handle, please put it in the chat. DM me with that scripture, please. Okay? I'm tired of hearing that mess.
Telling Maryville last night and Dominique when they came by, I was telling them like, what the fuck? God can do miracles, And if I cry hard enough, maybe I'm just not crying hard enough. Because I know God can do miracles and he reads your heart. He feels your heart. And if I was really sad enough, he can bring my mama back. If I was sad enough, there's something God can do to turn this around. I just have to be in that state of mind with him. I feel like I don't know. I'm not handling it.
Well, I will say this. They announced Miss Shirley's passing on January the 29th and the 20th. It originally came out on the 29th, but also they did announce it on the 23rd. National news organizations reported her passing. Now, like I said, she was affiliated with a lot of celebrities. So Lizzo gave an emotional tribute and described Shirley's passing as loss for the entire world, not merely those who knew her personally. Shirley's daughter in the Clark County Coroner's Office confirmed that her official cause of passing was hypertensive heart disease. So she had high blood pressure that was not treated, which then later affected her heart. That's what they're saying after her autopsy. So we have to just accept that, you guys. So a private funeral was held for the family and invited guests. On February the 28th of 2026, a public memorial called Dignity for All was held at the First Congregational Church of Los Angeles. The service included gospel music, videos, community speakers, celebrity. They really celebrated Shirley. It was a home-going party, as her daughter later stated. Celebrities and public figures was there. They had Lizzo. She said Shirley, one of her most visible supporters, her daughter stated, was Lizzo. She donated clothing, beauty to the streets, communicated with Shirley for years, brought her on stage at multiple events that Lizzo did have. So she also had backing her was, like I stated earlier, was Jessica Alba, Rachel Ray, Niecy Nash, Joy Taylor, and Carissa Bodnar. Bodnar. I don't think I'm saying it right. I know her name and how to pronounce it. I can't remember it. Um, Business and brand supported her as well. So she had a lot of backing. She really, truly did. And everybody was just really, really proud of Miss Shirley and the work that she was doing. I'm trying to see. Hold on one second. Let me see what else I can find. But that made me really emotional because I was one too that lost my mom at, I wasn't young, but I was young enough to feel that I was too young to have lost my mom at that time. And like I stated, my mom was only 59 years old. So um, hold on, let me see what else we can find. Who else supported her? I guess that's all the list that I can find right now. So yeah, um, so we just want to just give Miss Shirley her roses. So tonight I need everybody to understand something because Miss Shirley passed suddenly, and because she was a public figure, social media immediately began producing so many rumors. Like I said, I'm a conspiracy theorist and I'm hearing all these things. So I'm going down the rabbit hole myself. So, I get it. But we have to settle what the coroner said and the what her autopsy came back as, and it was hypertensive heart disease, you guys. So we know that Shirley was found unresponsive in her home. We know her daughter requested a welfare check and they went in there. So, Chad, let me ask you this. What does treating someone with dignity means to you guys? What does it mean? And do you treat somebody with dignity because when they don't have something, or you treat them with dignity when they have something, or you just treat somebody with dignity because they deserve it? So Shirley Raines was not born into fame, you guys. She did not begin with television contracts and corporation, donations. And she was a mother. She was a daughter. She was all these things to so many people, and she was loved. She was truly, truly loved. So we have to sit here and recognize the effort that Miss Shirley put in to this skid row. And I'm actually thinking, like, what could I do as a violent crimes family, you guys? I really, really am, because I know there's something out there. There's so much that needs to be done. And can one person make a change? I think that she did. I think that Miss Shirley gave a lot of people dignity, gave a lot of people a reason to move on. A lot of people a reason to say that, you know what, there is good in this world today. There really, really is. So I like to end my show like you all know. If you're part of this family, just a quick prayer. So, dear Heavenly Father, we just come to you and we want to say thank you. Thank you for allowing her pain to become a source of purpose. Thank you for every meal that she served, every person she clothed. Please comfort Shirley's children, her grandchildren, her twin sister, her family, her friends, and the volunteers in this case, you guys. Please bring peace to the people who waited for her vehicle to pull up and knew that they were going to receive food, clothing, and provisions, Lord. We ask that you give someone else the heart of Miss Shirley and send them into that area where it is needed. We ask you to bless the Viral Crimes with Jocelyn family. Continue to allow us to speak the truth and speak it on your behalf, and never, ever, ever, ever come off the track that you want us on. And I just want to say thank you in the name of Jesus for everybody that's watching. Please get home safe. And I pray that everybody is filled with love today, and take that love and project it out to the people who may not feel it today. So thank you guys for watching. Remember Miss Shirley. She was definitely someone that was definitely needed for those people in that area. And hopefully that somebody came in, her kids picked up and continue what their mother was doing. And just thank you guys for watching.